I was talking to a fellow dance mom and she asked me, Maritza, do you know of anyone, any homeschooling family that is looking for a teacher? I want to quit my job. I don't want to work as a teacher in the public school system, and I really need some income. I connected her with a family that is looking for a teacher, and we got to talking, and she expressed how she wanted to create, if not teach a homeschooling family, create a homeschooling pod, but not just any pod. She wants to teach children how to cook. Automatically, the lights went on in my brain. It started doing its thing. And I'm like, oh my God, you can actually create a children's cookbook and you can tie it in. And for those of you who come onto my comments and tell me, how can you make money with that? These videos that I create are ideas. I am just sharing ideas, book ideas, not only for publishing on Amazon KDP. In this case, to the fellow dance mom that I was talking to, she wants to go ahead and maybe create a cookbook for her homeschooling pod. It means she wants to help and serve people in her community locally, so not self-publishing online. So just wanted to clarify that. In this video, I'm going to teach you how you can design a children's cookbook, and you can publish it on Amazon KDP if you'd like, or any other self-publishing platform. But the goal of this video is to teach you how to do it, because if this is something that you can do, if you're a homeschooling mom or a teacher looking to teach a certain skill, it doesn't have to be cooking. It could be teaching a science class. You can always create a product, a book, or something, a program that you can go ahead and sell to those in your community and locally. Without further delay, let's begin. For this specific recipe book, I'm going to use a custom size of 8.5 by 11 inches. You can go ahead and input the width and the height and the units, make sure it's in inches. So it's 8.5 by 11. Let me go ahead and click on that. And then once I have this white canvas, you need to think about something. These are just things for you to think about. Do you want to go very niche? Do you want this to be a recipe book for children where they can create their own protein shakes or their own breakfast shakes? Or is it going to be maybe breakfast type of breakfast recipes? Or maybe, for example, my kids can prepare their own overnight oats. That's, it's very hyper niche, but it is very effective, especially if you're thinking about going ahead and maybe publishing it on Amazon KDP. But this is your recipe book and it's for your audience and whatever it is that you want to go ahead and teach. The cool thing about these cookbooks is that you can add real pictures from the recipes that you have come up with. So this can take a little bit of time to produce. I'm going to go ahead and give you an example. So let's go ahead and head on over to Amazon quickly so we can see the type of recipe books, book covers that are out there, just to gain some inspiration. As always, I love to do real-time research so that you can get some ideas. In this case, I went ahead and the keywords are easy recipes for kids. There are 30,000 search results, but I'm going to go ahead and click on my KD Spy and see what this software will let us know. So for popularity, this is a popular keyword, and there are a number of books here performing well, which means that there are a lot of people searching for this type of book with these keywords. Now, the potential is in green. The revenue potential of books under this keyword looks very good, and competition is in red because obviously there are 30,000 results. But now the good thing is that we can go ahead and niche down and see what other keywords are here. Easy bake oven recipes for kids, easy recipes for kids learning to cook. Maybe if we remove the word kids and let's see what we have here. For beginners, maybe I want to see if there's anything for teens. I'm going to go ahead and search for that. Now the search results right here, as you can see here to the left side, is 10,000. Now it went down from 30,000 to 10,000. I'm going to go ahead and click on my KD Spy and see what type of research it has done for us. And again, popularity, it's a popular keyword. Potential, it's in green, which means that there's potential for revenue, and competition is in red, obviously, because there are a lot of results. coming up for these keywords, but I'm going to go ahead and scroll down so that you can see the types of book covers that have already been designed, because it gives us ideas of what we can do with our own cookbook. Now that we have seen that, we have done some research, we can go ahead and start designing. When I conduct research here in real time in a video, it's not because I'm encouraging you or telling you to go ahead and publish your book on Amazon KDP. No, as a matter of fact, because Amazon is such a monster of a marketplace, if it's selling on Amazon, it is likely that it's going to sell in your community, locally, and especially because cooking is a lifelong skill that is needed. And a lot of parents right now online in Google are searching for ways for their children to learn life skills, especially in this case, cooking. Now let's start designing. For the design, I'm going to go for simple. And if I were creating this for my audience, for my community, or my cooking class, I would want to use real pictures from recipes that I have already cooked and taught my kids. But in this case, since I don't have that, I'm going to go ahead and go to the elements option. And I'm going to look for a grilled cheese, which is the first thing that I ever taught my son to make. So now I really like this actually. Whoa, what happened? Okay, so I like this picture. I would go simple. I would use one grilled cheese, and maybe for the background, I'm not sure what I want to use yet. But maybe I'll get some ideas here, like this purple. As a matter of fact, let me add another page. This is another thing that I do. If I start seeing other images that I like, I will actually start adding pages and just stacking them. And because I might use one of them. This is actually a good idea of something that you can use. If you take a picture of your own grilled cheese sandwich and give it a background such as this one, I think this is great for a cookbook. Let's say I use this one. I kind of like this one. Let me go ahead and add a text. As a matter of fact, I would have never thought to use the color purple. One of the things that I would use, one of the words that I would use would be easy or healthy. Yeah, healthy and easy. And I'm going to put recipes. I'm going to go ahead and change the font. Make sure, and this is the little things that you have to do. Start playing around with the font and just different styles and colors and you name it. So let's see, maybe I want to use something like this, healthy and easy. And now I would duplicate this, bring it down, and maybe capitalize recipes or the word cookbook. And then maybe use a different color, maybe even larger, as a matter of fact. Let me bring this up, maybe use a different color, perhaps something like this, and then cookbook. And then we're going to use the word for, and I'm going to use different color for this one. For maybe I can use that orange. Whoa, that orange color. Okay, it's not doing it, guys. That orange color for, and then I'm going to write the word teens or kids. Teens. But for the word teens, I want to use a different color. Maybe even shift it. And then bring this here closer, and then maybe use a different color that can stand out. Something like a yellow, and then we have healthy and easy cookbook for teens. Now I'm going to go back to elements, and then I want to go ahead and maybe use something like a spatula. And we can use maybe this blue spatula. And I actually don't want that white background. So what do? We click on BG Remover, which stands for Background Remover. And we can go ahead and shift this. But I just noticed something. I actually don't like this because it doesn't look realistic. Maybe one that looks a little bit more real. I'm not sold on this one. Maybe something like this one. I actually like this one. Let me remove that background. Perhaps add it here. I can shift it if I'd like. Maybe bring it down or minimize the spatula. I don't know how I feel about that yet, but let's continue. Let's say I want a wooden spoon. Okay. Maybe we can add a wooden spoon here. What are other baking? Start thinking about baking, maybe other elements that would be incorporated into this. Perhaps let's see what we can find here. Let's see, cooking. Let's see what elements come up under graphics. What about, oh, very important, a measuring cup. We do need those. So a measuring cup would be good. Let me go under photos and see what we can find. I like this one. Let me just remove the background. That I think will work well. So you can get it. You get what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to add other elements. Or maybe, let's say you don't want objects. Not a problem. Maybe I'll leave this wooden spoon here, but maybe I'll add some vegetables. Okay, it's not typing. Vegetables. It can be other foods. Maybe tomatoes. Oh, let me delete this from here. So maybe I can add some tomatoes. Maybe I think I'll like the whole vegetable all around thing here. Let's see. Yep, I think that will be better. Let me remove this spatula. Kind of like this. So I'm going to go with the whole vegetable around this. Let me rotate this a little bit. No, not that. Undo. Oh my goodness, what's going on with me? Okay, finally. Okay, great. Some tomatoes, maybe some carrots. I know I use carrots. I've had my kids peel carrots before, so that's kind of cool. We have that. What else? Eggs are very important. Eggs are in a lot of the recipes that I actually cook for my kids. Bow tie pasta. Yes, yes, and yes. Bow tie pasta is so important. Pasta is super easy. My son actually made pasta the other day, so that was actually cool. I'll put some onions around here and maybe a steak. Some chicken. Okay, now I'm getting hungry, guys. I'm getting hungry. Okay, so maybe we can add a steak around here, perhaps. Or maybe let me move this down. Add a steak. Maybe even overlap. Would that be cool? Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure about that. But maybe it would actually, you know what? Put the eggs around here and then put the steak right here. It looks beautiful. Now maybe some chicken. Chicken for the win. Winner chicken dinner. Okay, some fried chicken. Who does not like fried chicken? I know my kids love fried chicken. Okay, so I think that's it. I'm getting too food happy here. And I'm getting really hungry. So let me just leave it like this. Maybe add another element but yes, you guys get the point. So this would be, let's say, the front cover. Let me remove this out of the way. This would be the front cover. Maybe add your name somewhere here, maybe on the top if you'd like, or on the bottom. You can even move this down and add your name right here. Let me go ahead and show you by clicking on text. And then I'm going to click on heading. And let's say it's my book. It's Maritza Mendoza. And then we can go ahead and change the color. Okay, here we go. The color. Okay. Have I used this color? Yeah, I did, but it does not look... Okay, there you go. I'm going to go ahead and use the same font or maybe another one. No, the same font. And I'm going to make sure it's all caps. And I'm going to minimize that. I don't want my name to be there too big. Okay, that works for now. Perfect. Okay, so that's going to be our front cover. Now for the interior page. I'm going to go ahead and design one interior page since it's for teens, and It's for kids. We want to make the directions as simple as possible. And you may want to include an introduction to the book, maybe explaining the terminology when it comes to food, the measuring of the cups, maybe the tablespoons or teaspoon, or maybe explaining those things in the beginning, having a section where you explain the basics of cooking would be very helpful. So you can have an introduction page to the whole cookbook, and then maybe a week by week recipe that kids can follow. And very important, maybe you can make it a healthy and easy cookbook for teens, but where you maybe you want to add a number there, like 50 healthy and easy cookbook recipes for teens or something like that. But let me go ahead and design one interior page. And then I would go ahead, you can go ahead and use color or not. And you could use that same purple style from the book cover, that purple color. And you can continue that. Now for the inside, like I said, keep it simple. Let's say the first recipe is going to be rice and chicken. Wait, rice and chicken. Let me go to, you know what? Let me clear this. And we want maybe like a speech bubble or something. Okay, I'm going to click on bubble speech. Because we want to go ahead and add a section. You can make it as however you want, but I'm just giving you an idea. So I'm going to go ahead and add a speech bubble, and maybe because I want to make it fun, right? So you can ask a question like, how do you make blank? In this case, how do you make chicken with rice and avocado, something like that. And I'm going to share with you why I'm choosing this, guys. Okay. It's because my son helped me make this the other day, and I'm going to upload a picture. So now I am going to change the font here, maybe Illustria, or I really like that font a lot. I'm going to go ahead and add a question mark. Of course, how do you make chicken with rice and avocado? So let me just magnify this, grab this over here, put it in here, make sure it all fits, rotate it. I want it to look really cool. How do you make chicken with rice and avocado? Now you would add another maybe speech bubble or maybe like a triangle. And that's where you would add, or a rectangle in this case, that's where you would add the directions or something like that. I don't really like this one, but let's see if I can find, or if not, just a regular rectangle will do. Rectangle with rounded corners. Let's see. I kind of like this. Maybe something like this. Okay, I like this better. So we can do something like this where we put it right here, and then we provide not just the instructions, but you want to make sure and mention the ingredients. So what ingredients? I'm not going to go ahead and list all of the list of ingredients, but I just want to go ahead and do this so that you get the point. So you're going to click on ingredients. Okay, perfect. Here you would find a list of ingredients, and then whatever you use, you would input it here, and then you would, obviously it has to be longer, or it could be longer, however you'd like. Now we want to go ahead and provide the instructions. And for the instructions, what you can do is you can go ahead and click on duplicate. You bring it down here. Let me go ahead and bring this down because I do want to add an image. So I'm going to go ahead and add an image. But before I do, I am going to click on elements. And I'm going to click on circle frame. And I'm going to choose this first one right here. I'm going to add it. Let's say, minimize it a little bit more. Move this to the side. Move this to the side. I'm going to leave it just like this. And then obviously on the bottom, that's where we would put the directions on how they can do that recipe. Now here, I'm going to add a picture that I uploaded, and it's a dish that I made the other day with my son. Let me go ahead and click on upload. And I did it twice. Let me remove it. Okay, so I'm going to grab this picture and I'm going to put it in here. See, that's the cool thing about a cookbook, is that you can add images that are real because it's from whatever it is that you have made. So that's kind of cool. So I went ahead and added that. But then the cool thing about a recipe book as well is that you can keep the same format and a question, the ingredients list, and the directions, and keep maybe a circle frame or something like that where you can input the image of the plate that you are making, the food that you are teaching how to make. And then you can go ahead and click here on the bottom where it says grid view, and you can go ahead and duplicate it. And all you have to do is copy and paste your recipe, the directions, and the pictures that you're taking of the foods that you are making. I hope that this video was helpful, and I hope that it actually sparks some ideas on things and products that you can create for your community, maybe for your homeschooling pod and things like that. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. God bless. Guys, where are we going?
First one!